Good evening, everyone. And in tonight's Luke Bong show, we have a very special topic because tonight we are talking about how you can supercharge your body language. Okay? So stay tuned. Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on a Friday evening. My name is Luke Bong and I help you to take charge of your emotions so that you can create breakthroughs in your life. Now tonight we have a very special show because as you can see on my left, okay, I have a very special guest tonight and his name is Peter Lim, okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but what I would like to do now is to tell you a little bit about what tonight's show is going to be about, yeah? But before that, I would like to ask you to do one thing. Now, please use the comment and tell us in the comment, okay, where you are joining this show from, yeah? Where are you watching this from so that I can welcome you personally, okay? All right, so tonight's show, we will be exploring the topic of body language, and that is why I have invited my good friend here, Peter, to come onto the show tonight to talk live about body language. Okay, so Peter, why don't you introduce yourself a bit?
Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Peter. I'm a professional body language coach, and first in Miri, and I hope first in Sarawak as well. And I'm really happy that tonight I can spend my time here with Mr. Luke Bong, and I'm really happy that he invited me as well to give this FB live shows on this and talk about my passionate topic on body language. Yeah.
All right, Peter, thank you. Now, when we talk about body language, I just want to share with you, maybe I want to ask you a question, yeah? Now, to the viewers there, I want to ask you, how comfortable are you with your body language, okay? So do you feel absolutely comfortable in how you communicate with your body? If it is a yes, just comment yes. But if you feel uncomfortable, you're not so comfortable, you feel awkward about it, then you comment a no, all right? So let us know in the comments so we know how many people, they feel comfortable with body language and how many people feel uncomfortable with your body language, okay? All right, now, I remind myself, okay, I remember that years ago, yeah, Peter, I actually felt uncomfortable with my own body language, okay? So happened that at that time, I had this fear of where should I put my hands, when I talk? Yeah, and I don't know whether you have experienced that. What about you? Have you ever experienced that?
Definitely, yes. Because there's something we call pacifying behavior sometimes. So sometimes when we are in a moment whereby we don't know where are we or who are we talking to, what are the things that we are expecting, suddenly you just feel stressed out and then your hand is just everywhere. And then some people just they don't even know what they're doing with their hands with.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. I've seen people doing this when talking to me, and they don't even know that when I said, "Do you realize just now when you're doing this?" And they said, "Did I put my hands on my face?" I said, "Yes." And then I really don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's give me a lot of things about them, saying that they are now at the moment is in a very uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they actually experience being very uncomfortable with their body language. I can think of one real case that happened to myself. All right, at that time I was still dating my girlfriend. That time, now my wife already. And I invited her to my house to watch a movie, a romantic comedy show. Yeah, so I was she was seated next to me. And what I did was I started to slowly just put my hands around. And I felt so good. I have never done that before to a girl, okay? And I got my girlfriend there doing that with me. And the next thing you know, I was like, when do I leave my hand? And I started leaving the hand there. And I think I must have done it for almost the whole movie.
Oh my.
Because by the middle of it, I began to feel pain. And I was like, I can't move my hand anymore, So finally, I have to get out because I felt so awkward if I were to suddenly remove it after so long there. Will she feel bad about it or what, right? So I asked her, do you want a drink or maybe some chips or what? Let me go and get it for you. And then I quickly, as much as I can, I remove my hand. I rush to the kitchen and I start to do this, So I mean, when I think back to it, it's so funny about how I can feel awkward about body language and all that.
Definitely.
Okay, so I think Peter, let's get on to the topic. Yeah.
Sure.
Now tonight, Peter is going to share with you about how you can supercharge your self-confidence. As you know, self-confidence is so important, be it in business, in work, professional, in your family, etc. Yeah, but I'm actually asking Peter to share this, okay? Which is, it's easy for people who are confident to be self-confident. But the question is, what if you don't feel self-confident at all? What if you absolutely feel like, I feel like today? I just don't have any confidence and I don't feel like it. Can you still use body language to what they call create that self-confidence? Now, the answer to that will be at the end of the show. So stay back to find out, all right, how that works, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so Peter, just want to ask you, all right, what got you started in the field of body language? Can you share with our audience?
Okay. So what got me started with body language? So if my wife is watching this right now, I'm very sure that I have already asked permission from her that I want to share about this. Yeah, actually, what starts me is actually who starts me. Okay, it's actually my son. Okay, my son Damien, and my son Damien is actually he has a mild autisms, and when he got mild autism, so what I really at that time, me and my wife, we were really don't know what to do seriously because it hits us. So when it comes to mild autism, so what I actually did was to go into internet straight away, okay, online, try to find ways to communicate. Because, when you talk about autism, a lot of different types of autism there. The spectrum is very, very broad. And therefore, we found out that my sons have problem in communicating. So I went into the internet and then I searched all the informations about how to communicate with an autistic children. Okay, so as I search about it, I found out that there's one thing that catch my eyes, and that is about body language.
Okay,
so when you talk about body language in communication, I straight away think, okay, maybe this is something about I can learn about to communicate better with my son, to understand his body language and things like that. And that's how I got started.
I see.
And I would say that's how I get myself stuck into the world of body language.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in other words, it was actually accidentally.
Accidentally, that's right.
And guys, right, if you're watching this, his son is Damien. I can tell you the son is a genius in music. Yeah, it's like when I first saw him in a video, he just started learning and it was so fast, that at one time, show off this father show off, yeah? Put two piano, one on the left, one on the right, and then ask Damien to play with both hands. I was like, show off! All right. But anyway, it's like, I think it is actually a blessing in disguise, because when you discovered that your son had autism, I can only just imagine that the shock or the suddenly is you and your wife, both of you probably is like not sure what to do, yeah. But instead of going the other way, whereby you start to blame God or whatever it is, you took the positive route, which is you went into research on body language.
That's right.
But why body language? Why not other things? Why your son's autism led you to want to know more about body language?
Okay, because initially I thought of I need to get information, how to communicate with him better using body language, non-verbal, to understand his behaviors and things like that. But it ends up, I would say, blessing in disguise, that I found out that, hey, besides body language, on autisms, I can actually know and learn more about body language, of how people communicate using non-verbal behavior, non-verbal communications. So that's where I get into deeper and deeper, and slightly, off course. Of course, in terms of no longer searching information for my son.
Okay.
but more into how to learn to see people communicating with each other using non-verbal communication.
I see. Because for autism people, autism children especially, I think body language, non-verbal type of communication is one of their primary communication style, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay,
correct.
I see. Okay, so before we continue with the question, I just want to welcome our viewers here. So that's why, guys, if you saw me just now looking at my phone, I'm not actually playing with my phone. I'm listening to him, but I'm checking the who is coming so I can welcome you. All right, so I just want to say welcome to Fiona, to Jin Hao.
Hi, Fiona.
Okay, to Sonia, to Jennifer, to Gina, to Jeslie. Okay, so we have quite a lot of viewers here. Can I also ask that, all right, if you find the content here, hey Peter, all right, hi Peter Zai, okay, and my wife is here too, all right, thanks for joining and watching. If you enjoy this show, okay, please help us to share. All you have to do is just click the share button, all right, because tonight's topic is really going to benefit a lot of people, yeah? And also, if you like the show, okay, give us a love, not just a like, I think give us the love. All right. Okay, so Peter, moving on, yeah?
Yeah.
So, body language is not something that we learn in school, right? It's not something is in a textbook. I mean, in the textbook, we talk about communication is in writing, reading, singing, and all that. But body language. So some people will be thinking, is this real or is it fake? Some people call it a pseudoscience.
Okay.
Okay, so is there any evidence that this body language thing is real? Can you share with us, please?
Okay, yeah. Talk about body language, non-verbal communication. Actually, I got a lot of people asking me these questions. They were asking me, is this really real? You really can read people's body language, understand what they're thinking. But I have to make clear here. We don't really read their minds per se.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't read their mind. We don't read. But what we actually reading is to understand your body gestures. It's the gestures that tell us a lot about us, a lot about you.
Okay.
So is it scientifically proven? Definitely yes. We don't have a lot of time to actually bring in all those research papers. It's all in the internet. You can find it, all those informations. In fact, Harvard did a very extensive research. Professor Amy Curley. You can Google her as well in the.
How do you spell that? Let me put it here in case.
Professor Amy, Amy.
Okay.
Okay, Curley. Yeah, Cuddy, if I was not mistaken. Yeah, you can check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, she's actually did a lot of research into that. And not only that, my guru, a person that I really learned a lot on body language is Joe Navarro, which is the FBI, the ex-FBI special agent from US. And then he advocated a lot about how to read people's body language and non-verbal communications. Yeah.
All right. And FBI here stands for Federal Bureau of Investigation, not funny body inspector or something like that, right? Okay. So let me demonstrate how universal, that body language can be lah. So if let's say somebody comes to you and somebody just does, what does that mean? I think whole world is like that, right? Okay. So all right. Hi Chi, hi Darren, okay, Kenneth, thanks for watching, thanks for joining us, okay, also to Kisu, all right, thanks for joining. Now, if you have any questions that you would like to ask Peter or myself about body language, about how to use it, please let us know in the comments, okay, so I'm going to be checking on the comments as well. Hi Jesse, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, so we learned just now that there is actually a lot of evidence here that suggests about why body language is real, why is it something that is like legit and all that, yeah? Okay, so let me move on now, right? So like a person's confidence, okay, how is it related to body language?
Okay, now from what I have learned as well, and even sometimes if you really ask yourself, I just want to ask the audience out there, you ask yourself, and then when was the time you actually feel excited? Okay, when you feel excited, when you feel that you are top of the world, okay? Who knows, maybe some of us here, 六合彩啊, 中六合彩, or maybe you've been kissed by your girlfriend for the first time. How that makes you feel? And if you can remember that, you can surely, feel that experience of your body language.
Okay.
It definitely shows, okay? But at the same time, think also the moment when you feel very down. The moment when you feel rejected, okay, the moment when you feel something bad going on, and that body gestures will also tell. Okay, so it really affects a person's motivation. It affects a person's confidence.
Okay,
I would like to share a little bit about the body gesture of my wife.
Okay.
You see.
Okay. Wait, before we do that, are you sure that if you share that tonight, you can go back to your house, ka?
Don't worry, I can sleep quite well with my dog Lupo.
Okay, all right. It's good to know that.
Okay. My wife Jenny. Hi Jenny, if you watch, I'm not sure are you watching, but anyway, if you're not watching, never mind. Okay. So here's this. I remember the time when we were in the hospital, when we sent our son to do this checkup with the pediatric on his body. Sorry, not body language. It's autism.
Okay.
Okay. And when the doctor confirmed that he has autism, okay, my wife did this gesture. Okay, my wife did. She put her hand onto the neck. Okay, in this area, and she was rubbing while listening to the doctor. Okay. And me, at that time, my hand is totally just on my head.
Okay, before you share what that is, right?
Yes.
I would like to ask our viewers here, when you watch that, so Peter, can you show again the gesture that your wife did?
Sure.
Okay. And the gesture that you did? Okay. Now, so can you share with us in the comment, okay, what do you think those gestures mean? All right, let us know in the comment, because I think it will be good also for you to check how accurate you are with reading body language, right? So guys, let us know in the comments, okay? Let us know in the comments. Hi Sherry, thanks for joining us. Okay, so do you think you want to let them know already what it means?
I'm okay.
Okay. I think
Or maybe,
let's do that. Let's do that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So if you see my wife, when she did that, what she actually means is that she knows that she is in some sort of a very, very discomfort behavior. She's in very discomfort mood.
Okay.
All right. Because in body language, all right, when you see someone touching this dimple neck, the dimple here, neck dimple they call it, or super nostrich, all right?
Wow, that one's so difficult to pronounce. Just call it neck dimple.
Yeah, neck dimple, okay.
Yeah.
This area, especially ladies, all right? This shows that this person is in a very, very extreme, I would like to quote that, extreme discomfort.
Okay.
All right, means something going on inside her. All right. So, and as for me, when I heard that the doctor was saying that my son has autism, I straight away putting my hand like that. Now, I'm sure if you watch movies, if you watch war movies and things like that, when the soldier did that, what does that mean? It means what?
Surrender.
Surrender. Yeah. I was at that brink of like surrender. Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
All right. Like, so at the end of the day, this really can tell we have a very bad days or very bad days for weeks, for months. Yeah. So you can tell whoever who can read body language at that time, they can see that we are in a very low morale kind of things. Yeah.
Yes. And I think we can only like just imagine, especially like what the turmoil, the pain and all that must be going through. So guys don't do that? Guys don't touch this?
Now guys are more robust. They don't just touch this, they will go, okay.
Maybe guys they touch it like
oh my, that's let's what do we have?
Okay, let's go to the next question. Yeah. All right. Okay. So you can see that Peter and I we really know each other very well. I think we have known each other for 20 years.
Close to, yeah.
Close to 20 years, all right?
18,
yeah,
19
so
years.
it's perfectly okay for me to do like that one.
All right.
Okay. All right. Now, so let's move on to the next one. Yeah. So, and also I just want to let you know, stay back to the end because Peter is going to reveal the secret to you on how you can actually create this body language, a very confident body language, even though you don't feel like it. All right. Stay back for the grand finale. Yeah. Okay. So next question I have for you, Peter, is that when people do body language, right? What are the most common body language mistakes? Is there such a thing? Common body language mistakes?
Common body language mistakes. Before we go into common body language mistakes, we have to. I have to let everybody know that when you talk about body language, it's not just about because I get this a lot. So since I'm here now in the studio, Look Bong Show, I better share with people here now. Is that people always misunderstood. They thought that body language is just about detecting people telling lies or not telling lies.
Okay.
They thought this is just it, just that. Well, in fact, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's not. In fact, body language or nonverbal, it goes beyond detecting lies. It actually gives something we call perception management.
Okay,
It's how
perception
people
management.
perceive us.
Okay.
How people perceive us, that is very important. It is part of the body language. It's part of the non-verbal communications.
Okay.
You know why? Because people always perceive us split second.
Yeah.
I'm very sure we all have this. If I may ask, have any one of you out there have this experience whereby someone passing by in front of you, and you just don't know why you have this feeling like, I don't know why, I just don't like this guy. I just don't feel nice about this guy.
Yeah.
What did you just do? You are giving your perception about that person. That is split second.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So therefore, why we have that? Because it's our perception. We said we need to give people a positive perceived value. Okay, so from the perception management means since people are perceiving us split second, then we have to give a positive perceived value for them to perceive us.
That's
in that
true,
sense.
because that's why people say that the first impression is very often the
Yes,
lasting
the first
impression.
impression.
Yeah.
Correct.
And although we learn in English, it says like, never judge the book by its cover. But do you know that booksellers, they put a lot of effort and a lot of money to design the book cover, because it is very true. People buy books based on the cover, not necessarily the reading the content inside. Now, if any of you buy books but you never read, I think you know what I mean, right? You're probably attracted by the book cover, and then after that, when you go back, you put there, it's like, it's a nice decoration for my bookshelf.
Yeah.
Now, speaking about body language and how it is built in, I just want to share with you is like one of the incident that happened a few months back. Yeah, my neighbor had a Labrador, and this Labrador is always kept indoors one. But when my neighbors were traveling, they asked me to help take care of the Labrador. But one thing was, the Labrador, the dog, managed to escape from the house. And for the first time, I've never seen the dog actually left the house compound before. So needless to say, the dog was very, very excited. It's like escape from jail, like that, right?
Okay.
Really excited. And the most surprising thing I saw was this, because the Labrador wanted to play with the other dogs, but here is the one thing. There were a few very fierce neighborhood dogs which came over and tried to how should I say it? They tried to bully her. And without even trying or anything, she just kneeled down and she made her own body become very small like that.
Minimizing.
Okay? Yeah, so it just went in. And the funny thing was, the bully dogs stood by her side and have no idea what to do. There was no barking, there was no biting. And the bully dog just seems like, okay, since you say you are not a threat to me, immediately, right, the bully dog just went away and the Labrador was safe. So that is why I think body language is something that is like inbuilt in us,
Yes.
not just for humans, but animals as well.
Yes.
Animals as well, yeah? Okay, so what else do you see, right, as what else are the people when they make, what are the common things that people, without thinking, their body language out of habit, Sometimes people's body language out of habit, maybe they like to do that. All right?
Okay.
Which comes across as ew.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, so
exactly.
are there any bad habits that people have that they need to be mindful of when it comes to body language?
Yeah, sure. There are lots, okay? There are lots. But the very common one that I have always taught in my class is that, when people are talking to each other, okay, they always do this, which is no. They will always do this. Touching the neck, as the back part of the neck, all right? So this is a very common, all right? Why? Because when a lot of people will say, maybe this guy is just having some neck pain, need some yoko, things like that. But actually, no, this is a pacifying behavior. Okay, it's a pacifying behavior. And this
before you continue, please explain pacifying first.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Pacifying behavior means you a behavior that makes you feel soothing. Like baby, when they pacifying, they will put this. Yeah, correct. And do you know that you are also doing pacifying behavior like a baby as well? The only difference is we don't do this anymore as adults.
Yeah.
Imagine if Lubong asked me something that which I feel very uncomfortable to talk about. Then what I do, maybe out of my this subconscious, I will just do a simple like this.
Yeah.
You see people do that. Okay, this is a pacifying behavior, which is the adult types of doing this.
Yeah. So that means that, guys, if you go in a company meeting and your CEO suddenly asks you for the year-end report, don't do this. Right? It is
Yes.
so wrong. Okay.
Yes.
All right. What else is there?
Okay, another common ones would be, suddenly you're scratching yourself everywhere, I've seen this a lot. People scratching when I ask a questions about something, they will straight away hold themselves and then they start scratching. Okay, why do they start scratching? Because it's again a pacifying behavior. They feel good. They feel good, and then when they are in a more stressful environment, they will have more pacifying behavior going on. Yeah. So this is a no. You don't go around talking to people and then you suddenly just feel itchy. Suddenly feel itchy.
That's right. Another thing also I notice is that for people who sometimes they tell lies, do you notice that when you tell lies, suddenly your nose becomes extra itchy one? Okay, or you just feel like rubbing it, or maybe your ears starts to feel very hot, and you just still burning, become red in color and all that. All those things are you can't control. All those things are just like automatic responses of the body.
Right.
Now I want to share a story that this happened, I think, about 10 years ago. Okay, 10 years ago, I was actually promoting a seminar, and it's not mine. I was promoting it for a teacher, and I've got a stack of these free tickets. So I went over to one of the ex-colleague of mine who has left the company that I was working in, and he was in a very beautiful, very posh office. So first time I went up there, I was like, wow, it's so nice. Everything is like glass like that. So nice compared to my office that I had at that time. It looks so cheap. This one was good. So I went over, we started chit-chatting, and I wanted to find out more, So I asked him, wow, your office looks amazing. Your business must be so good, And he looked at me, smiled, and he answered like this, yeah, we are very busy all the time. And then after that, the hand just removed like that. So I was like, what was that about, Because throughout the conversation, before that and after that, he never covered, he never closed and everything, right? Just at that moment only. But because friend what for? I want to ask a bit more. He say what? I believe what, right? Okay. Next thing you know, 3 months later, the office closed down. So that's why, some of this behavior, especially we are talking about normal people, not psychopath.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. If psychopath, sociopath, and all that, different story, because they are already in a way their brain is not functioning properly and anymore, so they can tell a lie without any of these symptoms. But if you are dealing with a normal human being, all these things I would call them red flags.
Flags, yes.
Those are red flags.
Correct.
All right, so Peter, you have mentioned that there are two, which is the first one is the bad behavior of doing this. Okay, so this is something that actually means like you are trying to make yourself feel more comfortable. It also shows that the person is under stress.
Yes, that's definitely.
Okay,
stress.
And the second one is when you are just like rubbing yourself and all that. That is also meaning you feel uncomfortable, very nervous, and all that.
Psychological discomfort. Yeah, this one. And then another one is more common one will be you playing with your fingers. Yeah, whatever they thought, it just. Yeah. So did you submit your assignment? Sorry, I'm talking about assignments. If I have some students are watching this, your assignment is coming to the due.
Right. So I can imagine as you are watching this, you are probably doing this now or doing this now, right? Thinking about Peter's assignment. Okay. All right. Now, so those are the behaviors, that people exhibit when they're feeling uncomfortable and all that, right? So I want to, go into the next question, which is, what are your top 3 tips about body language, that you can share with our viewers?
Okay. The top 3 tips that I would like to share here is that because the most important for me in terms of body language, because tonight we're not talking about lie detection that much, but it's very much about how to give a positive perceived values towards people, because this is more important, because you need to give positive perceived value to your customers, to your boss, to your friends and families. So top 3, number 1 would be you just need to be more aware, be more observant, about your on body gestures, about your, I would like to say, non-verbal, be more observant about yours, and also be more observant about other people's observe.
Yes.
Okay. Then the second point, be more observant as well. You have to be more observant
Okay.
towards your own, the way you talk things out, the way you show your gestures, and be more observant about other people that is talking to you. And the third one,
Let me guess. Be even more observant.
exactly. Now, I'm not making this out myself. Even my gurus from this Joe Navarro from FBI, he also said they are going to give you 3 tips before you going back to Malaysia, because previously, just last month, I went to Amsterdam.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I attended his master course in non-verbal communication. The 3 tips he gave us before we leave, before we depart: be more observant, be more observant, be more observant.
Yeah, and I can really like vouch for that, because
Yeah.
a lot of the times, right, I think the communication breakdown between people, or relationship breakdown between people, is because people are not observant enough.
Exactly.
You know, like here's the tips for you guys who are single and you are looking for a girlfriend and all that, right? Both of us, we are married already. So I want to, what is that body language there? Oh my God. What is that body language
What did
there?
I do? What did I do?
Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay, we have okay, someone says hi, hello.
Oh, these are all my previous students.
Yeah,
Hello.
okay. Hi, Winnie. Thanks for joining us. Ferdinand, Firdaus, how are you, man? Okay, so as I was saying there, right, for guys, okay, you know, one of the things that sometimes guys may fall into the trap is that we think that girls want big things like diamond or cars or Gucci handbag or you know, all the Prada or LV and things like that. Not true.
Not true.
The way to win a woman's heart is by you remembering the details.
Exactly.
Is by you paying attention to the details. Right. Ladies watching this, comment, let me know, true or not. Okay?
Yes.
Why I say that? Because back in 2000, I think the year 2000, that was when I first met my wife, okay? And we were colleagues in the same office, and she was sitting in front of me. Now, at that time, I wasn't interested in her yet, okay? I wasn't. But there was one thing that I did. I was actually traveling, and it was during the week of her birthday lah. So she told me that she was going to bring her parents and my late in-laws to go to Pizza Hut, and they have never been to Pizza Hut together before. The parents have never had pizza. So that struck me as like, wow, you have never had pizza before. So I went traveling for 1 week. I came back. And when I saw her, we say hi. And my first question to her was, so did your parents enjoy the pizza with you? And the look on her face was like, the jaw dropped. I was like, what's wrong? And it's like, how do you know? She asked me. And I was like, you told me, right? And the next response was, you mean you pay attention?
Oh,
I think at that moment, I got her already lah.
definitely.
All right,
Sure.
and because I'm on the mic, I can say whatever I want.
Okay.
Okay, but that's true, you know, that's true, yeah. So you can check with it's a real story there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Peter, I think the clue that you know, the tips that you gave to us is to be observant. That is so powerful, because when you're observant about a person's behavior, body language, you know when they are feeling uncomfortable.
Definitely.
You know when you need to slow down and not just bulldoze through and all that.
Right.
And you just become a better communicator, right?
Yes, it's all about observant. In fact, if I may add in, we human beings as a species survive through the millions of these evolutions is because of one: observe.
Observe and learn.
Exactly. Our ancestors, our prehistoric ancestors, the primitive people there, they all learned all by observations. They observe. They observe how the wild beasts behave. They observe each others.
Yeah.
In fact, for your information, body language comes from our primitive ancestors. Because our primitive ancestors, they don't speak English.
Yeah.
They don't speak all these things. All right. What they do, they actually communicate with each other through non-verbal, right? Through body gestures, okay? Through senses around, which is non-verbal at all.
Yes.
No words.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why some of this body language is hardwired into
Hardwired.
us. Yeah.
Correct.
So it's like everywhere around the world, no matter whether you are blue, white, yellow, gray, or brown, or green color, or what skin and all that, right? If you see a person doing this or a person doing this, it means the same thing, man.
Exactly.
And if you have no idea, this is also universal, yeah? Okay, so just now, Sherry asked a question, is there any Q&A session? The answer is yes, we really would like to have your questions, okay? So please let us have your questions. You can type it onto the comments area, and then we will be answering your question, right? We would love to have your questions there, yeah? Okay, so so these behaviors and things like that is actually inbuilt to us, and all the more, right, because it's inbuilt to you, you need to learn to master this, right?
Right.
Okay, so I want to, before we go into the question, I think those questions are coming in.
Right.
Peter, let me ask you this, okay? If, let's say, a person is not feeling confident at all,
Right.
can we use body language to create that confidence? Is it possible? Can you share it now, please?
Right. Okay. Now, is this the finally questions that we've been waiting, I think? Yeah. Okay. So the answer is yes. Whenever you feel not confident, all right, you feel down, all you need to do is to do what we call power pose. Power pose.
Okay.
You know what is power pose? Or okay.
Yeah, imagine doing that in your meeting. Your boss asks you, Peter, are you ready for presentation now? Yes, boss.
Yes. Okay. Now, you don't have to go into that type of power pose. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. Because we need to how to call that, elicit. In NLP we call that elicitations.
Yes.
Right.
Which just means that you bring out. Yeah.
Bring out.
You bring
That's
out.
right.
Yeah.
You bring out. So because our mind and body is actually connected, it connected, and therefore when we have a body gesture of someone that is very down, very down, you will not expect anything confidence or anything nice word come out from this kind of person. Seriously.
Yep.
All right. On the contrary, if you want to experience confidence, all you need to do is really simple. You just need to, chest puff up, all right, straight. And then you start working in a very confident manner. And within 2 minutes, your body gestures, as your body gesture change, the confidence will boost. Okay. Now there is a scientifically proven there. Okay. Also from the Harvard, like I said, Professor Amy Khalid said this. When we doing a power pose, all right. Now, to make it easy for every one of us, if you remember Superman, when Superman are doing what we call arms akimbo, all right, arms akimbo. This is one of the power poses.
Yeah, this is also the pose that usually you see in your mother.
And ready to strike.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so when you're doing this arms akimbo or a power pose, what happened to your brain is that your brain will create a hormones. The hormones is called the oxytocins. Okay, sorry, I have to get into a little bit technical here. It's an oxytocin or feel good hormone. They call it feel good.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's also technically known as the love hormone.
Love hormone.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oxytocin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love hormone.
Love hormone. Okay. All right. Love hormone. Okay.
Cool down, Peter. Cool down.
All right.
Come on.
All right. Okay. So so the brains will create that, will release that oxytocins, and that oxytocins will then boost up something we call testosterone, and that testosterone is actually what build up that confidence in us.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just want to point out like this to make it easier to understand. Yeah.
Yes.
So essentially, there are two types of scenarios that you can find. One is you let your feeling determine your body language. Okay, so that is what typically people do it like this. This morning I wake up, bad mood, forget it lah. Or you can choose the other way around. Because the mind and the body is interconnected, you can actually use the body language that you want to have the feeling one. Like for example, you might feel absolutely bad, absolutely down and all that, right? But what is the body language that will be the equivalent of feeling great, feeling awesome and all that? You put that pose and you will have that feeling in a short while. Okay?
Exactly.
All right, so now I want to look at the comments here. I just want to welcome a few more people who have just joined. Scott, hey, welcome, Scott.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, Scott.
Okay, Christopher, thank you. Elaine, how are you? Hazel,
Elaine.
Allison. Okay, now, so Sherry asked the question, what it means when a person suddenly put hand into trousers or pants pockets. Okay, that is provided if they are not trying to search for keys or coins and all that, right? What does it mean if they suddenly just put it into the pockets?
Suddenly, I'm just because I take the word suddenly,
Correct,
right?
suddenly.
Now, because if it is not a sudden one, maybe this one, if you see someone putting the hands inside the pockets and all that, if it is not suddenly, that means that one is just his own baseline. Habits. It's on habits.
It's a habit, yeah?
Yeah. We have people who feel comfortable having their hands inside their pockets and walk around, right? But if you say suddenly, may I presume it this way? It's like, for example, if Mr. Bong asking me about certain assignments or things like that, have I completed this work or not? And in that moment when he asks, I suddenly go like, oh, I need a little bit more time to complete. Actually, almost done. All right.
And I think the red flag there is right after if he said that and then the hand comes out again.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah.
So like, for example, it's like, oh, okay, I give you some more time then. Then I will like, oh, all right, sure, can. It comes out.
Yeah.
All right.
And if you want to test it again, right, then later on you ask the same question again. And the hand will go back again.
Yes,
okay?
you will see that. You will definitely see that. All right. So you have to be careful because I want to let everybody know that when you talk about body language, it's not, the equivalent is not like 1 + 1 = 2. It's not. All right.
Yes.
Body language is, the equation is 1 + 1 can be equals to 4 to 5 to 6. So it's not like, oh, I touching my nose means I'm telling a lie.
Yeah.
It's not, it doesn't work that
because
way.
it could genuinely be your nose is just itchy because you have a flu.
Sinusitis.
Okay.
Yes.
Or some people, but this one is a bad habit. Some people, they like to do this. But imagine, right, if you are just like very, how should I say, you are just normal, your baseline, your normal behavior, you stand like this, right? When people look at you, they probably feel like, why is this guy not friendly at all, right?
Exactly. Perception management.
Correct,
I said again,
correct.
perception management.
Yeah.
Because I have students actually ask me this question. They say, sir, actually I don't mean anything. I when I'm doing this, cross my arm, it feel good, which is true. My teachers, my gurus, they all say, well, nothing wrong with this. But here's the thing. When you are talking to someone where maybe $1 million contracts is in your tables, do you want to do that to your potential clients who is bringing the money for you?
Yeah.
Definitely no,
Yeah,
right?
you probably want to do that. All right. Okay, so Sherry, I hope that has answered your question, yeah?
Yes.
So it's all about when did it happen and how did it happen.
All right.
Because if let's say that body language, you notice it right when you say something and it triggered that body language, but after that conversation over, suddenly the body language never happened again, then we have red flag there. You see, it's not whether or not the person lies or not, right? Because the truth is, we all tell lies.
Yes. That's
Okay?
true.
We all tell lies. And if you say you don't tell lies, you are telling a lie. Right? We all tell lies.
Okay.
But the key here is, why are we telling the lie?
Yes.
So when a person have got some strange body language going on, it's not like, hey, why are you lying? It's not. We want to know what is the purpose and the reason behind that. That is more important.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
So that is why look for anything that is out of the baseline, which is the normal behavior. Yeah. Okay. So are there any other questions that you have for us before we wrap up the show? Because we have almost come to the end of our show today. Okay. So. All right, Peter. Now, I would like to ask you, how can our audience find you? All right, what would be the right way to find you? How can they, get in touch with you?
Okay, so I actually have a website. Okay, you can actually go to browse.
I will type it into the comments.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
www.bodylanguagemiri.com.
Okay, so it's www.bodylanguagemiri.com. Okay.
And I can also, you can find me in my Facebook. I have a Facebook on my body language. It's just it's just written all about body language. That's all.
Okay, so it's all about body language.
Body language. Yeah. Then you can see me there. And then you can write a question, ask me any questions into the PM me, and I will answer you. All right.
Okay, Elaine has a question. All right.
Elaine.
How to control uncontrollable body language?
Okay. How to control uncontrollable body language? Elaine, if I may know, what does it mean by the what kind of uncontrollables?
I think it's probably something very spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
So it's like, is it possible? Because I think some people, they have a very natural gesture, like for example, when suddenly someone says something and straight away they go into like this.
Okay.
It's like it happens automatically.
Right. Okay.
But now that you know, it's like, oh, okay, I shouldn't be doing this or I shouldn't be doing this. How can we prevent that automatic one?
Now, because it's already said that automatic, so I will have to say it's really hard to control.
Yeah.
All right. But what you can do is you can tell yourself to be more aware. Okay. It's not that easy in the first place because I personally have a very bad habit of really sorry to say this. I like to pull my ears.
Okay.
Okay.
Was it because of trauma from school or something like that?
I don't know. Better ask my mom.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I have a very, very bad habit of pulling my ear. And in another word, pulling my ears is actually my pacifying behavior. It let me feel good. It's like, just like that, But as I move on, I found out even I go to interview, I will also do that.
Okay.
And that really, really served me no good. Because when the interviewer is asking me a question and I just, can you do this job? Yeah, I can. Although I really can, but because of this gesture, it somehow give communicating these negative perceptions about me to the interviewers. And then they were like, something not right. But I don't know what is not right about this guy, but just something not right. So the only way for me to control myself at the end is to actually telling myself, stop doing that. It's like subconsciously you're telling yourself, stop doing this. This is not right. Stop doing this. Okay? And to be more aware of it. So slowly, as my brain started to get used to, okay, no, don't do that. Don't do self-awareness, then it slowly can just subside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to share something that you can probably try, Elaine, from the NLP perspective.
Right.
Now, what has happened there is that automatic body gesture is something that has been quote unquote hardwired to the brain. Yeah. So in other words, when a certain trigger happens, that happens by itself. So usually, like for example, if somebody says something and then you start to touch it, right? How do you break it? You need to collapse it, collapse the anchor and rebuild it. And I find personally for me, pain is a very useful thing. It's a very powerful tool to use. So like for example, the next time round, when you automatically, just example, you start to do this, right? And then you are like, I shouldn't have done it again. What you can do here is you can probably follow it with a pinch. Okay? I'm serious. I'm not joking. This is not joking. I've never been more serious in my life. Okay? Real one, eh? All right? So you just pinch it. Because what happened, and you really pinch it. If you can leave a mark, even better. Okay? Because what happened here is that it is going to connect the new thing. So now this behavior, the moment you do this again, you will feel the pain. You need to do this several times, okay? Until it becomes a new habit for yourself. It is only useful if you do it for yourself. Don't go and do it for other people. Don't go and chubit your partner or something like that, all right? It won't work. It will only make the person hate you, okay? So do it for yourself. And when you do that, that's when you can trigger it. Okay, so there's another comment there. Russell says this, okay, being a tall person and as a confident teacher, sometimes I unwillingly intimidated my students while giving my opinion. In worst case scenario, he or she cries. Is there any body language that I could adopt to? Okay.
All right. So he was saying that he's
because he's very tall. Yeah, and I know Russell is really tall. Okay, so when he gives opinion to the students, sometimes students become intimidated and they start to cry.
Right. Oh dear. Okay. All right. So my suggestions, if it is works for you, because I'm not sure how is that situations. Could it be because of your voice as well? Because when you talk about nonverbal communications, not just your body, all right? Because your tallness is already telling people, hey, I'm tall. So somehow you do have that kind of intimidating factors in. But how about your voice? Perhaps you may also would like to try to lower down your voice.
Yeah.
And then also maybe when you ask questions or things like that, you can do it with an open palm gesture. Okay, open palm gesture. All right. And then slightly bend down a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, just bring it down. So you don't go like over this. It's going down a bit. Okay. So I would like to just give you this information. So what do you think about this? You know, instead of, all right. So voice factors can help you perhaps, and also an open palm gesture.
Yeah, because it's all about, right, making yourself come across as less big. Because if you come across as big, like very tall, very strong like that, right, it scares people, yeah?
Yes.
So what you can do is you can probably go eye level. If let's say you need to bend down a bit so that you are closer to the eye level, then you will come across as more, what they call more approachable, yeah? So, all right, Russell, I hope you find that useful. Russell says that's a great point. You should try that open palm gesture. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, and not that face palm gesture, right? That one is not good. Yeah? Open palm, not face palm. Okay, all right. So I think that's all the time that we have today. And tonight we have a lot of viewers who stay on right to the end. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. And next week, all right, we have another very special show for you. Next week's show is I'm going to invite another special guest who is going to come on to the show tonight. Now, in fact, she's going to have a very special one-day seminar, half-day seminar that is happening in August, and I managed to get her to come to my studio and to share some secrets with you, all right? So she is none other than Jeslie Kong. Yeah, so make a date with me and Jeslie next Friday at 8 p.m. And as a thank you for all of you who stay on right until the end to watch, okay? I'm giving you a free gift. Ooh, yep, that's right. It's a free giveaway, which is a free online course that you can take. It's going to teach you how to control your emotional states, okay? So in other words, you can learn how to control your states and not like lose your temper easily and not like get an emotional breakdown and all that. You will be in absolute control. Okay, so I'm going to key in this right now and you can log onto that to just get your free course. Give me a moment. So Peter, why don't you say something while I type this?
Okay, so if Russell is still around, Russell, maybe because it comes to my mind again, Try not to stand when you talk to the student. Perhaps you can sit down. You know, that is one of the points that you can talk to. Besides palm gestures and your voice, maybe you can also just take a chair, sit down, and talk to them, and that will be a very good one. All right. And for the rest of you guys out there, I'm really thank you very much for tuning in. This is my first experience doing this live. So it's really, really good. So I'm not sure how many of you have spotted any of my psychological discomfort. Probably you can't because my leg is shaking down there. You can't see.
All right, so Peter, thank you so much for coming onto the studio, coming onto the show. I really enjoy myself. I hope you have enjoyed this session as well.
Definitely.
So join me again on the Luke Bong Show next Friday, where I'll be interviewing Jeslie Kong. All right, so have a wonderful night and also have a beautiful weekend. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.